Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar, or the last iteration of our webinar series, Celebrate Cybersecurity. We have with us today our distinguished panelist, Jennifer Cook, and our lovely host, Steffi Rawlings from the Technology Commercialization Accelerator. Before we get started on our webinar, I want to go over some webinar ground rules. Everybody on the call today is muted, so don't worry about background noise. Only we have to worry about that today. If you have a question, please put it into the Q&A at the bottom of your screen. And just so I know the Q&A is working, can you put a hi, hello, how are you into the Q&A for us, please? Well, hello, Gerald. Thank you very much. And then there's an option to raise your hand. Hi, Tom, I'm doing well. Thanks for coming. There's an option to raise your hand. And if anything goes wrong during the webinar, like we're talking about the wrong slide, you can't see the slides, would you raise your hand for us so we know something's going on? Perfect. Thank you, Tom. So that's our emergency alert. And without further ado, I'll turn it over to Stephanie Rawlings, otherwise known as Steffi. Steffi, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Thank you, Christopher. So greetings and welcome to our fourth and final week of cybersecurity webinars as we celebrate Cybersecurity Awareness Month. My name is Steffi Rawlings and I'm the coordinator of the New Mexico Small Business Development Program called the Technology Commercialization Accelerator here at New Mexico Tech in Socorro, New Mexico. The TCA has collaborated with the New Mexico Cybersecurity Centers of Excellence, also here at New Mexico Tech, to celebrate Cybersecurity Awareness Month. We have provided cybersecurity webinars related to education, careers, industry, and community throughout the month of October. We schedule 2 webinars a week as we try to provide cybersecurity awareness to the residents of New Mexico. We are recording these presentations and the recordings will be placed on the New Mexico Small Business Development Center YouTube channel. We will have a Q&A at the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions or comments, please use the Q&A at the bottom of your screen. This week, we will be presenting information on cybersecurity in the community. This morning, we have Jennifer Cook from the National Cybersecurity Alliance team presenting It's Easy to Stay Online. It's easy to stay safe online. Sorry about that. Because we can stay online all the time. Because that's easy to do too, right? Okay, so this afternoon we will have Dr. Lori Liebert from New Mexico Cybersecurity Centers of Excellence presenting the future of the New Mexico Cybersecurity Centers of Excellence centers and presenting Cyber Ready. We welcome you and are glad that you are here. I would like to thank all the panelists, the speakers, Christopher Garcia, Dr. Liebert, Lisa, and Jessica, who helped out with this event. Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce Jessica Cook. She is the Senior Director of Marketing at the National Cybersecurity Alliance. And thank you for Jennifer.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I'm with the National Cybersecurity Alliance. We're the co-founders of Cybersecurity Awareness Month, along with CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. And today we're not only going to talk about cybersecurity and online safety, but we're going to talk a bit about behavioral science, and I'll explain why in a moment. So the National Cybersecurity Alliance is a nonprofit organization. It's our mission to empower a more secure, interconnected world. And we do this by making sure everyone has access to free, easy to understand materials that help them stay safe online and learn about cybersecurity. We have hundreds of these free resources available on our website, which is staysafeonline.org. And we also run a number of programs throughout the year. We have a program called Cyber Secure My Business, which is for small and medium-sized business owners. We're relaunching this program next year in 2023, so stay tuned for more details on that. We also have programs for college students and career changers interested in cybersecurity careers. We talk about data privacy during Data Privacy Week, which is at the end of every January. But at the end of the day, we try to reach everyone, kids, teens, parents, seniors, basically anyone that uses technology. We want to make sure everybody understands the simple steps it takes to stay safe online. So right before October, we came out with a report called Oh Behave, for any Austin Powers fans out there. And it's the annual Cybersecurity Attitudes and Behaviors Report. We surveyed 3,000 people in the US, the UK, and Canada, and we asked them about their general feelings and perceptions of cybersecurity, and as well as what kind of behaviors they take to stay safe online. And if they don't take those behaviors, then why not? So today, with your participation, we have several polling questions that I'll launch in just a moment, and we're going to compare what you think to what the general public thought in our research. So, and then hopefully, by the end of the presentation, we'll have cut through some of the, maybe confusing things about cybersecurity to give you easy, practical advice and tips on how to keep yourself, your family or your organization safe and secure online. And I know you've, probably already been to other webinars this month with online safety tips. So I encourage you, if you've heard these tips before, also keep in mind that there are a lot of people out there that we'll see in our survey results that haven't heard these things. So maybe keep in mind, just to talk to your family, your employees, your kids about online safety as well, because, well, you might know some of the stuff not everybody does. So it's great to help, teach others about online safety. On this slide, this is the behavioral science model known as COM-B. What this says is you need 3 things: capability, motivation, and opportunity before you exhibit a behavior. So for example, you can be motivated to do something, but not have the knowledge or the capability of how to do it. And it takes all 3 of these things to work before we do something and exhibit a new behavior. And this is hard. If it was easy, everyone would have the best habits. We'd be working out 5 days a week and eating healthy all the time, but it doesn't work that way. And that motivation piece is the hard part. So with that in mind, we use that model to approach our survey. And I mentioned we also asked people about specific cybersecurity behaviors, including these 5. Password hygiene, meaning the creation of passwords and password management using multi-factor authentication, sometimes referred to as 2-factor authentication or 2-factor verification, installing the latest updates, checking emails for signs of phishing, and backing up data. I just want to highlight this quote here from Seth Godin, who's an expert on advertising and marketing, and he talks about how complex we are as humans. The quote says, "Facts don't change people's behavior, emotion changes people's behavior." And in our research, we found that motivation is a big problem when it comes to cybersecurity, and motivation can prevent people from taking certain steps to stay safe online. So because of this motivation piece, we asked people in our survey about their feelings and attitudes. And now we're going to ask you some of those same questions. Starting with the first one, and I'll launch this here. Hopefully you all can see that. We asked first, how do you feel about this statement, "I prioritize staying secure online"? Do you disagree? Is it not a priority? Are you neutral? Do you agree that it is a priority for you? Give everyone a moment to chime in. And I promise we're not checking on who's answering what, so be honest for these. So it looks like some have said somewhat disagree, some have said strongly agree. In our research, we found that the vast majority of people prioritize staying secure online, either by saying they strongly agree or just agree. Let's move on to the next statement. How do you feel about this one? Staying secure online is under my control. Do you agree? Do you feel like you have control over your online security? Do you disagree? And this perception of having control is really important, and it's something that affects our motivation, because if you don't feel like you have any influence or over a situation, that can be very demotivating. So we have a disagree, a somewhat disagree, and a somewhat agree. See how that compares. So in our survey, we found that people were much more neutral about this than in the last answer. A good number of people did agree. They felt like it was under their control, but this is also interesting for us to know as a cybersecurity organization, because if you feel neutral about it, and especially if you disagree, or maybe you don't really care either way, that's a good thing for the bad guys. Again, feeling this lack of control is very demotivating and does not typically lead to a change in behavior or habits. So how do you feel about this next statement? I find cybersecurity intimidating. So let's see, like we have a strongly disagree, somewhat agree. Let's see how that compares. So in our survey, most people felt, 29% of people felt neutral, but still 44% either agree or strongly agree, which also isn't good for your online habits. If you find something intimidating, your response is usually to avoid it. And these survey results we got are almost identical to the results we got last year. It's kind of no wonder that so many people find cybersecurity intimidating. Maybe you've seen a picture of this guy or maybe girl before. We call them the hacker in the hoodie. And you might see this image when you hear about big, data breaches on the news. In articles as well, you kind of typically see this accompany those headlines. And this is often an image that's very associated with hacking and cybersecurity. And it's no wonder people feel intimidated, because this is a pretty intimidating image, but it's not accurate to cybersecurity and what we're going to talk about today, because cybersecurity actually doesn't have to be intimidating. There are a lot of simple steps you can take to stay safe online. Another question just for now, how do you feel about this statement? I find staying secure online frustrating. Do you agree? Do you find it frustrating? Do you disagree? So it looks like people here somewhat disagree with this statement. However, we did find in our survey that 46% of people agreed that they find staying secure online frustrating. And I think it's something that makes sense, because when we talk about new behaviors for staying safe online, the way we conduct ourselves when we're connected to the internet, these are pretty new behaviors, and it takes time to get used to them, and it's hard to adopt new behaviors. That can be frustrating. I know sometimes I get frustrated as well when I say type in a wrong password to a website, or I forgot my password, or there's a software update I need to perform and I'm in the middle of work. Sometimes it can make me feel like this. Also not a good motivator for behavior change. But there's this theory called learned helplessness that says when people are unable to control or change a situation, they don't even try, even when the opportunity for change is available. So again, maybe some of you on this call will feel this helplessness sometimes, which is again understandable. You see sometimes scary headlines in the news about major hacks on big brands or nations or infrastructures. It can feel like there's nothing we can do. But the truth is that we can affect our own online safety and take control of our own security, our personal security, our organization security, and the behaviors that help us do this are incredibly easy, and we're going to go through each one. Starting with phishing. I'm going to bring up the next question. How confident are you in your ability to identify a phishing email or a malicious link? From 1 being not at all confident to 5 being very confident. See, we have a 4 and 5, confident and very confident in here.
Jennifer, they test us at UNM. They actually send us fake phishing emails too.
I was gonna say, I'm sure some of you have gotten those the fake phishing emails before. And we do find that a lot. I mean, here you can see from the survey, a lot of people are very confident or confident in their ability to recognize a phishing attempt. I'm sure you've received phishing emails before, including the fake ones through trainings. And those trainings are great and really effective. However, I do want to touch on that a vast majority of cybersecurity incidents that happen, including the major breaches that you hear about on the news, actually start with a phishing email. So it's important to remember that, trust the training, it does help, but these emails can still get past our sensors. In fact, the major organizations you see on the screen here had breaches within the past few years that all started with a phishing email. 91% of all breaches start with a phishing email. And phishing emails used to be so obvious, misspellings and bad graphics. You might still see some with misspellings and bad graphics today, but they've also become very customized. Maybe someone will go onto LinkedIn and find the name of an accounts payable manager in your organization, trying to guess their email. They might target certain people in an organization with bank account access. I want to highlight, this is an example of a real phishing email. Someone in our organization, one of her former colleagues got this at a previous job. And this came to a salesperson at this company from the salesperson's client, who's a CFO. It came directly from the CFO's email. So the email, wasn't any different. It wasn't fake. And the salesperson clicked on it, of course. They're in sales. This is about a contract, and they were expecting to receive a contract from this CFO. But it was a phish. And the only thing that was a little suspicious or a little bit off about this email was that the salesperson wasn't expecting it to receive the contract through DocuSign, as you can see here. And that's key. That was just the one little red flag. And picking up the phone and calling someone to ask, like, hey, is this really you? Did you mean to send this? Is such an important thing to do, because many of us work with so many different people or so many different organizations throughout the day. And if one of those inboxes gets compromised, like what happened to the CFO, somebody got access to his inbox and was able to send out phishing emails directly to his contacts. So if one of those inboxes gets compromised, a bad actor will have a much easier time sending these phishing messages out, and they can be super hard to spot. But in general, there are some common red flags to look out for, and we'll go through each one here. Bad actors may use fear to get you to act quickly. You might experience this if you get a scam call from someone saying something scary, like you owe money to the IRS. If you don't pay, we'll take immediate action. First off, a government entity will never just call you or email you out of the blue. They'll always contact you through physical mail first. So always good to be super skeptical of those kinds of calls and emails and messages as well. Bad spellings, bad grammar could still be present, or it could also be language that just seems a little bit off. Maybe it doesn't quite match the person who's sending you the email, or maybe they're sending you something they normally wouldn't. Requests for personal information is a big red flag. You know, maybe someone even calls you claiming to represent a legitimate business, and all of a sudden starts asking for your birthday or your address, your social security number, saying like, hey, we're, you know, calling from your bank. There's been a problem with your account. Like, give us your password and everything, and we'll like help fix it. Always best to hang up and go online, type the company into your browser, look up their customer service number directly, and give them a call to see if that call was legitimate or not. Also, again, checking the sender's email address. It wasn't in the last example, but you know, that is a big red flag of a phish if it doesn't match the company they're claiming to be contacting you from, or they might try to change it to look a little similar to the to a legitimate email, like in the Amazon example here. And then also emails you weren't expecting. It's always best just to verify. Maybe you've gotten a message on Facebook Messenger or Instagram or another social media platform where it looks like it comes from a friend, but they're sending you something kind of weird or trying to get you to click on a link. That's a big, you know, big red flag there. So what happens if you spot a phish? Starting with the don'ts, don't click on any links, don't click on any attachments, and don't send any personal information that might be requested. Instead, again, verifying, going directly to your browser to see if a message from a certain company or business is legitimate, or calling up a friend or a colleague to see if they actually sent you a message. And when you're verifying, it's important to do this not, you know, by not responding directly back to the message you receive. So say if you get a weird message from a friend on Facebook, then send them an email or give them a call, go through a different method of communication. If you decide that it is a phish, then, you know, let that person know. If it's a friend, tell them like you received a weird message. They need to go online and change their password to their account. And then reporting is so important. If you have an IT department, or if it's just on your personal email or phone. Actually, all the big email providers have buttons now where you can report phishing attempts. It's usually around like the report spam button or block sender button. And this is so important because chances are you're not the only one to receive a phishing message. It's probably gone out to other people too, and reporting it can help IT departments or email providers protect those other people. And then once you've reported it, go ahead and delete the message. So in our survey, we asked people about reporting phishing, and we were really encouraged to see that 70% of people very often or always check for phishing before clicking on any links in an email or responding. And 72% said they sometimes, very often, or always reach out to a person to verify a message that seems unusual. So it's certainly not weird to call someone up and check to see if a message came from them. A lot of people are doing it. And I'm happy to take any questions about phishing if they're coming in, but let's move on to passwords. So starting with another question, what is the typical length of your passwords? Like if you're going to create a new one, or you average all your passwords together, are they usually under 6 characters, 7 to 8 characters, 9 to 11 characters, or over 12 characters? So let's see, we have some saying 9 to 11 characters and over 12 characters. We found the most popular answer in our survey was 46% of people say their passwords are 9 to 11 characters, followed by 7 to 8 characters. And we do typically recommend passwords that are over 12 characters long. So next question, how often do you use unique passwords for your important online accounts, like your email, bank account, social media account? Do you use unique passwords all the time? So none of your passwords are the same. They're all completely unique. Most of the time, half the time, sometimes, or never, meaning use the same password for everything. Like everyone said all the time, which is really great. We did find that 33% of people in our survey said all the time, but it was a little more spread out. Some people said most of the time, some people said half the time. Only 3% of people said never, which is good. We recommend having completely unique passwords for every account. Some of you may remember Yahoo. They had a major public breach some years back, and the breach included the usernames and passwords of their users. And bad actors are taking credentials from one breach and they're trying them on every other account they can think of, especially accounts with financial information. They are hoping that you use that Yahoo password on a different account. So even if you didn't pay attention to the Yahoo breach because you hadn't used Yahoo in 10 years, you thought, well, I didn't have anything important on there. Why does it matter? If you use that same password on other accounts, then all those other accounts are at risk. So when I'm creating a new password, I like to keep these 3 words in mind: long, unique, and complex. We recommend using a password that has at least 12 characters. Of course, never reusing passwords, keeping them unique, and also complexity. A lot of websites will require this now. You have to, have a certain amount of characters or numbers, but we do recommend having some combination of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, special characters, and some websites will even let you add spaces as well, which is great and helps keep them unique. But you're probably thinking, okay, I get it, but I have literally hundreds of accounts and passwords. How am I supposed to remember all those 12 plus character unique complex passwords? So that's my next question for you. What is your preferred method of remembering multiple passwords? Do you write them down in a notebook, a physical notebook? Do you keep them in a document on your computer? Do you store them on your phone, in your email? Do you just remember them without writing them down? Do you save them in a browser, like how if you use Google Chrome, it'll prompt you and ask if you want to save a password for a website you're accessing? Or do you use a password manager application? Looks like some of you just remember them. Someone uses a password manager application. Let's see what the general public said. So actually the most popular answer we received, 37% of people say they write them down in a physical notebook, which is certainly better than storing them on any sort of, document on your computer or phone or email. Although it's not our top preferred method, just, something, in case something happens to the notebook, it gets ruined or lost, or especially if you're using it for work passwords and you're keeping it like at the office next to your computer, it's not super secure. Our top recommendation is using a password manager, which only 7% of respondents say they use. And we recommend it because of all the additional benefits that it offers as well. So password managers are great tools that can be installed on your phone in an app and on your computer browser, and they'll save all your login credentials for your accounts. So when you create a new account, you can set up a password to automatically recognize the credentials and store them away. And many will even suggest random secure passwords for you so you don't have to spend your time thinking of them. That's one of the reasons I really like password managers. I don't like having to think of like another unique complex password. I can just have a password manager. A lot of them you can set it so you can set it to be over 12 characters, have a certain complexity, and it just automatically generates it for you. And if you allow a password manager access to your already created passwords, many will tell you if you have a repeat password as well. So all you have to do is remember one unique, long, complex master password that will let you access all the others in your password manager account. So I think this is a lot easier than, just memorizing passwords. It saves a lot of time, especially when logging into your account, because I'm sure we've all forgotten a password at some point and we have to go in and reset it. Many password managers have free versions you can try out as well. Some are created for individuals and families. So you can have family accounts where you set up an account for each family member, and you can set up an admin account for yourself where you manage passwords, and it's a way to securely send passwords to each other. And there are also password managers that are created for businesses, so you can set one up for each of your employees. We also asked people in our survey who don't use a password manager, we asked them why not. And 37% said that they don't trust any single provider with managing their passwords. And this is something we hear a lot. And first off, what's really important is that you have that really strong master password on the application, and then also using multi-factor authentication as well on the password manager and for each of your accounts, which we'll talk about in a sec. So of course, since you are trusting one provider with managing all the sensitive information, you do want to make sure you do your research and make sure you're picking a trustworthy one before making any purchases or sharing any sensitive information. And on the next slide, and we can share these slides afterwards, I have some links to buyer's guides of different password managers. These are just examples of some you might come across. We don't have one in particular that we recommend, but I've used LastPass and Bitwarden before. I've been happy with both. But I recommend if you don't know where to get started, look at your, let me just go to the next slide, your preferred buyer's guide. If you like Consumer Reports or PC Magazine, CNET, Tom's Guide, there are links here to their guides to different password managers. They'll have their top manager that they recommend. A lot of them do talk about security features that are offered. So I think this is a great place to start. So sometimes you do hear about security incidents for different password manager companies, but it's important to understand the features that these companies have in place to protect your information. None of the incidents have actually compromised user passwords before. So password managers use very strong encryption. They have something called zero knowledge architecture, meaning their system will never actually know your master password to access your account. So it can never be leaked by the service if they are the victim of a data breach. Just like on your phone too, you can also set up biometric login, which is a form of multi-factor authentication. Like if you want to access your password manager on your phone, a lot of them you can set it up so you scan your fingerprint to get access, which is a very secure and recommended method of multi-factor authentication. So speaking of multi-factor authentication, this is something that really needs to go hand in hand with passwords, because at the end of the day, maybe, you know, you use a weak password or a repeated password, or maybe something happens and a website's a victim of a data breach that's just out of your control. Multi-factor authentication is such an important form of online security. It's a way for an account to confirm that you are who you say you are when logging in. So you log in with your username and password as usual, and then the platform will ask for additional verification. So it might send a 5-digit code to your phone or email, and you can enter that code when you log in. It might call you with the code as well. And biometrics are another example of multi-factor. So on some sites, you can set it up so once you log in, you need to scan your fingerprint on your computer or use facial recognition on your phone to get access. And this is really great because even though it's another step, it's highly recommended. And I think it gives you some peace of mind at the end of the day too, because again, even if you have a really strong password, something might happen to it. Someone might try to use it to get access to your account, and this ensures that they will not be able to get in. So I like it because there have been times where I get a notification on my phone with a multi-factor code for an account that I have, and the website saying like, oh, we see you're trying to log in, like, here's your code. I think to myself, that wasn't me trying to log in. Somebody else must be trying to get into my account. They must have my password. And that's a sign for me to go in, change it, then I don't have to worry about it anymore. They weren't able to get in because they didn't have that code. Again, it's an additional layer, but one I highly, highly recommend setting up wherever it's offered. So I'm sure you have a lot of accounts out there. A lot of them do offer multi-factor authentication, but I recommend starting with the most important ones. Email. All your email accounts, email providers should offer multi-factor authentication. And for any of these things, if you're looking for those settings, go to, the settings page, look for things like, security, account security, it'll be there. Also accounts with financial information, especially your bank account, your credit card account. In fact, if they should all offer it. If you happen to have an account that doesn't offer it, I think that's a big red flag of the company. I would honestly switch credit cards and banks over that, because this is so important to securing your financial information. Also keep in mind though, any if online stores or subscription services that store your credit card, like Netflix or Spotify, for example, check to see if those offer multi-factor authentication too. Again, cyber criminals are looking for access to financial information. They will try every account they can think of. So online store is a good thing to keep in mind as well. And accounts with personal information like social media is important to keep secure. A lot of social media accounts offer multi-factor authentication. First off, someone getting access to your social media account would be a huge headache. They might start posting from your account or sending scammy messages to your friends or followers pretending they're coming from you. And these accounts also often contain a lot of personal information about you, like your birthday, that can be used to access other accounts. So I do recommend setting up multi-factor authentication on every account, but prioritize it, start with one and go on from there. Just start with your most important accounts. We asked people in our survey, have you ever heard of multi-factor authentication? And if so, are you still using it? Unfortunately, 43% of participants had never heard of it before. However, of the 57 who had heard about it, 79% of people applied it at least once to at least one account, and 94% of them reported that they're still using multi-factor authentication, which is really exciting to see. It shows that once we establish this behavior, it's easy to keep using it. There are very few people who turn it on and then turn it off because they don't want it or it's too frustrating. Just a few things about updates and backing up data. We asked people about their habits when it comes to software updates or app updates. I'm sure you've all gotten these before on your devices or on your browser. Usually, you can postpone them, or they might pop up every so often saying as a notification on your phone. You can also check the security settings on your phone, going to your settings app to see if there are any updates available. And these are so important to perform. So 35% of people presume their devices are automatically secure. So when you're buying a device, there are certainly, security measures in place, but bad actors are always looking for new ways to get into a device or an operating system. And an update is Apple or Google or Microsoft's way of telling you that they found a new vulnerability, a new way that bad actors are trying to get in, and they're sending you a way to patch your system, a way to protect it against that new vulnerability. 25% of people in our survey admitted to clicking the Remind Me Later button a few times. You might see this when you get a notification about an update. You can click Remind Me again in an hour, Remind Me again in a day. But it's really important to perform these as soon as possible. Sometimes you click Remind Me Later and then you kind of forget about it. It's multiple days or it keeps bugging you over and over again. But in all that time, that just gives time for a bad actor to exploit the vulnerability that has not been patched yet. So sometimes you can set it to go off at a certain time automatically. We do recommend automatic updates. 62% of participants in our survey reported having turned on automatic updates. And sometimes you can even set these to go off at night while you're sleeping, so it's not an inconvenience to you. And 63% of participants said they always or very often installed the latest updates in software, which is encouraging to see. So again, you probably get a notification when an update is available. On the right-hand side, this is what it looks like in Google Chrome browser when an update's available. Left-hand side, this is where you can find it. If you have an iPhone and Android, it'll always be in the settings app. You can look for a button that says software update. It might say security as well, and it'll tell you if your software is fully up to date. And often it'll tell you just some other security information about your phone, which can be helpful to see. There's a lot of security settings in here that you can check up on. We asked people in our survey how often they back up their data. 32% said sometimes, 25% very often, 21% rarely or never, and 18% say they do it always or automatically. We highly recommend keeping multiple copies of your data. just in case something happens to your device, maybe someone might encrypt it and demand money or ransom to get it back. And this is also incredibly important if you have a business as well, because businesses and small businesses too are very commonly victims of ransomware attacks. So we recommend automatically backing up data when you can, maybe to the cloud, and also to an external device like a hard drive or a USB drive. Keeping multiple copies of your data in different places is important, because then if you are the victim of, some sort of hack or a ransomware attack, you don't have to worry, you don't have to pay the ransom, because you can just access a copy of your data somewhere else. And just want to mention a few things about the victims of cybercrime. We did survey people who have been the victims of cybercrime, what type of cybercrime they experienced, and whether or not, if they haven't experienced it, does it worry you? And we did find that yes, in general, people are worried about falling victim to cybercrime, which is, we talked about those feelings of frustration and intimidation. Fear is also not a good motivator for behavior change. It just gives us anxiety. So of the people who said that they were the victims of cybercrime, 36% said that they experienced a phishing attack that they were the victim of. 24% had their identity stolen. 23% were victims of cyberbullying, and 17% were victims of romance scams. And identity theft is something I just want to touch on quickly, because it can be a particularly tricky form of cybercrime to recover from. There are two resources here from the Federal Trade Commission. I recommend, if you experience identity theft, going there. They have a lot of great resources. Reporting it to the Federal Trade Commission is really important. And there's a nonprofit called the Identity Theft Resource Center, which has a helpline to help victims of identity theft. And another important tip here is to freeze your credit. Going on to the 3 credit bureaus to put temporary freezes on your credit will help prevent identity theft and prevent people from stealing your credit and using it. And so you can put a temporary freeze on each of the credit bureau accounts. It's really easy, and it's easy to take off the freeze if you need to use your credit and then put it right back on. And also, if you have children, doing this for their credit as well, because children's credit is highly targeted by cyber criminals. It's nice and clean, it's never been used, and you're probably not checking up on it. It makes it a high target. So temporary credit freezes are really, really important. But I want to, before we move to Q&A, pivot back to the positive and wrap up with one more question. What, if any, security behaviors have you changed as a result of training? So any training you've received in the past, has it gotten you to start using MFA or recognizing phishing, saving passwords in a password manager or your browser, using strong, unique passwords, regularly installing updates, backing up your data, or maybe you didn't change any of your behavior? I don't know if you can choose multiple answers here. If you can, please feel free to. So like someone says they're better at recognizing phishing, regularly installing updates. Someone else is better at recognizing phishing. That's great. So we saw in our survey that 58% of people say they're better at recognizing phishing messages because of training they've received. 45% started using strong and separate passwords, 40% using MFA and regularly installing updates. Only 8% of people said that they didn't change any of their online security behaviors. They're perfect people and they didn't need to do anything. So it's really fantastic for us to see how many people changed something or did anything as a result of training, because we've talked about that doing something, changing your behavior based on knowledge or facts is hard. And how many conferences or seminars have you been to where you learn a ton, you get a lot of great ideas to implement, and then you go back to your day-to-day at work and you don't do any of it? It's really hard to do. So, kudos to you if you've taken any sort of training and changed any behavior, even if it was just one little thing, because that is a hard thing to do. At the end of the day, we want you to feel like this. We want you to feel empowered and be part of the 92% of people that use their training and new knowledge to change their behavior and make themselves safer online. But we also want you to feel this peace of mind. Just like you have some peace of mind when you lock your door at night, you also feel this peace of mind when you're secure virtually and not just physically. You know, you can sleep soundly knowing that your data, your finances, your personal information, your family's information, or your business's information, that they're all protected. So I like to think of this as kind of a checklist of behaviors. Change is hard, but these 5 steps are actually can be easy. You can take them in bite-sized pieces and they will make such a huge, huge difference in your online safety. So password hygiene, meaning the creation of strong passwords and managing them properly, using multi-factor authentication wherever you can, installing the latest software updates, checking emails for signs of phishing, and backing up data. So cybersecurity, you know, it doesn't have to be frustrating or intimidating because you can do each of these 5 things. And, you know, maybe even if this still seems intimidating, if it still seems like too much or you don't have time, just take it one step at a time. You know, maybe it's after this, turning on multi-factor authentication on your email or performing an update that's been, you know, your computer's been bugging you about for a while. Just, you know, take it one step at a time and go from there. And then maybe each day spend 5 minutes turning on multi-factor authentication on another account, or, you know, doing some research on password managers and picking one that you like. A lot of these things you can just kind of set them and forget it. You know, turn on multi-factor authentication, then, you know, it just becomes part of your normal routine when you log into an account, or you set up a password manager. It's just going to automatically start recognizing your passwords and suggesting new ones. So you don't have to, you know, maybe it takes a few minutes to set up, but you don't have to really worry about it in the future. Same with automatic updates or automatically backing up your data. It's easy to just incorporate these things into your daily life and let it become part of your, you know, daily online routine. So if you have any questions about these items, I'm, you know, happy to take some time for Q&A. Also feel free to reach out to us. Our email is info@staysafeonline.org. Our website is staysafeonline.org. We have a lot more resources about these behaviors and others as well. And we're on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We're always posting new cybersecurity tips and news and resources. So check us out there as well. With that, let me see if anything's coming through the Q&A box.
I can't put in a Q&A, but I have a question for you.
Sure.
What's the difference between a password manager and using your web browser?
So your web browser does have, that is a type of password manager. So it's certainly one that I think is better to do than storing them in a document or writing them down in your notebook. We do recommend using a separate password manager typically, because just you might use your browser like Google, for example, for a lot of different things. Like, I think there's just kind of a higher chance of that being compromised, but it's still like, if that's what's easiest for you, I recommend it.
So if I had a Gmail, I would have to log into my Google account to use the password manager if I was using maybe a different computer?
Yeah, so if you would have to log in on to your Gmail account. You can log in on your phone too, and it would just be like in your account settings. I think even if you type in like Google passwords, it kind of shows you where to set up like all the passwords that it's saving there. I also do recommend a external application because they have those additional security features. Like I'm not sure if Google will generate random passwords or have those other features. Like a lot of times in password manager applications, you can save different information. Again, you can securely send passwords. So I think it's just another form of a password manager that you log into. It just might be a little more pared down.
Perfect, thank you. It's a new concept for me.
Any other questions?
Well, Jennifer, thank you for that presentation. The polls were great. That was a good information. And I too, like Christopher, enjoyed the password manager information. That was very informative. So thank you
Okay.
very much. Do we have any other questions from the participants? Okay, well, again, thank you, Jennifer. I do appreciate you coming in and doing this presentation for us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And we will send out the presentation via PDF, and then we will have this stored on the New Mexico Small Business YouTube channel.